to give me a nice welcome back.
I'm not sure about that.
Good evening, one and all, and welcome to the Piledriver Podcast with me, Dynamite Dave Abbott, the surgeon, Gav Collingwood, and the return. He's come out of retirement again for one more match. It's the Heartbreak Kid, Phil!
Ding, ding, ding.
You know it's true. It is damn true.
Good to have you
Right,
back, Phil.
guys, what? Do you know I missed you last week? You did a great job without me. So I'm a little bit like you did a bit of a too good job without me. So let's make tonight
Phil,
legendary, guys.
We missed your vibrancy, Phil. We missed it last week. So let's get straight into it then, guys. So wrestling news from this week. Gav, what have you pulled from the past 7 days, no puns intended, from the world of wrestling?
Oh, that was a slow burn, that one.
Oh, bang.
That one stung. That one
I've been
actually
working
stung.
on that one all day.
I pulled a muscle.
Muscle. Yeah, so wrestling
Well,
news.
Don't want to say what I pulled.
I think one of the first things we noticed was that crowds are now, but actual wrestling fans were in AEW
About
this week,
time.
not just talent rosters. So that was nice.
Talent.
The slow release from COVID and lockdown to see actual genuine wrestling fans back into the arenas. That's one of the things I noticed this week. Anything that you guys found this week that we didn't know last week?
Paul Heyman still exists.
As always, Paul Heyman. I'm a Paul Heyman guy.
You
But
did.
who else is a Paul Heyman guy now?
Roman Shitstains. Roman Reigns. I like Roman Reigns. I still like how much he gets pushed.
Yeah, Roman Reigns. Do you know what? I'm quite
Yeah, go,
excited
Dave.
about
Go.
Roman Reigns coming back. I'm not going to lie. I'm liking the heel version of Roman Reigns, and I'm just interested to see where it goes. Well, I suppose we'll find out.
Roman
within the next
Reigns, this
24
is what
hours
I've-
whether he has got the belt or not.
Phil, you need to get closer to Wi-Fi because you're like a minute behind everyone else.
Am I?
Yeah.
Okay.
you're like-
Just wind up that
I'll go on, like you said.
generator,
just
Phil.
look at the window and stare until they let you in again. Just for the record, the
I live
Heartbreak
out in the
Kid theme
sticks, right? I've
kicked
come closer
outside.
to the router. How's that? Is that any better?
Hey, you're not
better?
lagging as much now.
That's better. That's
okay?
good. Phil,
I
did
don't
you
like the
find
lighting
anything
as
out
much.
this week in the wonderful world of wrestling?
Yes, I did. Like always, I'm always a week behind. I watched today, a great. Well, it wasn't really that great, but it was an ass whooping, wasn't it? I watched Cody lose his belt. Quite entertaining, actually. I really enjoyed it, and I enjoyed the aftermath as well. Really, really well done. It brought me back to like. It made me remember why I liked wrestling.
It was a demolition.
You know what I mean.
That one. It's
It was a proper squash match, but
it was a squash.
It was, but just like the Dark Order afterwards, and Arn Anderson, and I think it was Arn Anderson.
It was Arn Anderson.
No.
Yeah.
Was it? Yeah. Arn Anderson, and then his wife and the other not the other Cody. You know what I mean? The other Rhodes.
The other Cody.
Gold Dust. Can I say that? Am I allowed to say Gold Dust? I don't know what it's called now. I forgot.
Dustin Rhodes.
But, Dusty Rhodes. No, that was his dad, wasn't it? American Dream.
Dusty. No.
Dusty is what your house is. Dustin is what he is.
Yes.
But to me, it looks like, wow, there's a faction here, the Dark Order, and they're going against this family. And can this family get a bit bigger and take the Dark Order? That's what I thought. This is the way this needs to go. That's what I thought.
The highlight for me regarding the Dark Order was this week's Dynamite, where it was the victory celebration for Mr. Brody
It's got to
Lee.
be the high five. Please be the high five.
If no one's seen it, just watch the high five segment when Mr. Brody Lee comes out. Because if anybody watches Being the Elite, which is on YouTube, and it's just brilliant, 25 minutes of all the wrestlers just being themselves backstage. Just watch Mr. Brody Lee always beats up on mentally verbally and physically John Silver in the Dark Order. and then when Evil Uno says to Silver, high five, Brody Lee, he just absolutely pies him. He's brilliant. He's absolutely awesome. So if anybody hasn't seen that, get on that.
And when he goes to high five him as well, Brody Lee lifts his hand high up so he can't high five him, and he misses it. Just
honestly, absolute comedy gold.
What I thought, like Brody Lee, he needs to have bigger eyes and he'd be more menacing. There's something about him that he doesn't look that scary to me. And I'm thinking, okay, yeah, it would be scary if he was stood next to me because he's probably about 10 foot taller. But I still think I fancy my chances. I'm a 2-time champ. Do you know what I mean?
You are, Phil. You are, and you've still got that belt even to this day. I think it's the longest belt reign in the history of the world ever. So,
it is. It is actually. Yeah. I've got a record.
Trophy.
Yeah. We don't need to get you a trophy or a belt of some kind. Another thing
I
to
want
note
a belt.
as well before we move
put
on
over
to
my shoulder.
I've got 2 things of news as well to add on after as well.
Yeah, just one thing I noticed as well from this week of wrestling is how strong the women's wrestling is at the moment. That's one thing I really, really picked up on in WWE and also in AEW, where they're starting to push it a lot more.
Finally.
Women's wrestling is really, really, really coming to the forefront, both in tag competitions and in singles competitions. So, more power to it. Hopefully that can, keep going and making the rise. Because it's not even saying in a patronising way, but the women who are wrestling at the moment, they're a different quality compared to what we've seen 10, 15, 20 years ago. And it's just really, really good to see. And in a lot of cases as well, the women are actually getting the main event slots on the actual flagship program. So that's one of the things as well I noticed this week. Gav, what other 2 bits of news have you got?
Well,
Can I just add sorry, stop you there. just to add. No, you spoke about.
Excuse me.
To add to the women's thing, now I completely agree with you, and I tell you what, but they're still objectified in these skimpy outfits. But the men wear skimpy outfits too.
Unless you're near Japs, then you don't wear skimpy outfits.
I remember watching China, Lita, going back further, Alundra Blaze versus Luna Vachon was my very first memory of women's wrestling. And then those women, they could wrestle. Now they went for you had your Diva area real quick, the Diva era, where none of them could really wrestle but look good. Trish Stratus could wrestle. She started, but I think she learnt to wrestle. I don't think she could at first. Lita could. China was a monster. But yeah, it's a completely different ballgame today to how it was before. So
Absolutely.
Sorry to interrupt. Well, that's what the HBY does best. So carry on, Gav. What was you saying? Sorry, Gav. I'm sorry.
I'm just thinking about the good times like last week where we didn't get interrupted in a few seconds.
Glad to be back. Glad to be back, boys.
So yeah, an interview with Sports Skeeter, Eric Bischoff, and I quote says, "WWE storylines suck right now."
Well, fucking hell, he's
Can
genius.
you not agree with him? How do you not agree with Mr. Eric Aaron Bischoff?
I used to like him before his hair was grey.
No,
he's right.
Stallion.
Is he wrong? Is he wrong? He's not wrong at all, is he? Let's be brutally honest.
But he does appreciate the
No, he's
Thunderdome,
not.
though. Which I can't like the Thunderdome because it's too distracting. You're watching the show and all you do is watching see if you can spot Kenny Omega in the background and shit now.
Yeah,
And
absolutely. I mean, and just
some of the
on
things
that
that
as
got
well.
shown as well. Like
Yeah,
one of them showed
just gonna say, yeah, Gav.
what's his name?
Give us a bit of a taste of the things that were shown on the Thunderdome? Is it Thunderdome?
Thunderdome.
SmackDown.
Because we don't need
Give us
another hero.
Yeah. So what things were shown then on the Thunderdome this week?
This week, well, we've got Kenny Omega, who
Yep.
went on Twitter after and said, "I didn't realise I'd get noticed. I just wanted to have a good time and watch it."
Yep.
It's good to see he appreciates other shows.
Yeah.
Last week we had the crippler crossface man himself, Chris Benoit
Chris
on screen.
Benoit. I know.
And we also
Whoa,
had a
you're
murder on
allowed to
screen.
talk about Chris Benoit.
And did anybody also see the KKK?
Oh, and
image
that as well, yeah.
as well. on
Whose
there, so-
stupid idea was it to
Wow.
let fans on screens?
Yeah,
At least
absolutely.
pre-vet
this
them
all
all as
stuff
well.
next Sunday?
But this is the gamble you take, isn't it? When you get a live feed of fans logging in from wherever, this is the gamble you take. So that's a bit of a.
I'm
recap
expecting
there
porn
of the
this
last-
weekend.
Yes.
Someone's going to sneak on porn next, and WWE is going to get in so much shit for it.
Massively. It's either the police it better, they have people acting on it quicker and shutting things down, or they just cancel it altogether until the fans come back in. It's one of those, isn't
But
it?
all that money they spent on it, that's a lot of TVs that
But-
were going on the bin.
We a lot of money.
Are we talking? Can I ask you a question, guys?
Yes.
This Thunderdome thing is this all these TV screens of fans?
Yep.
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah. Looks
Except some
fucking
of them.
stupid. that's what I think.
It's fans
Do you know
that have
what I
been
mean? And I'm-
lucky and like.
and I'm
puts a
normally
thing in
right.
it. When?
Most times. Don't forget, I'm a legend in my own mind.
Oh, where's he going?
Absolutely, Phil.
Phil's
What
tickets
a
for a
place to
walk
be.
around the garden now as well. He's going inside.
Right.
No, I'm going in. I'm going in.
Last week,
Who is he going to piss
We,
off now?
we put a poll out last week, and that poll was:
Nobody
do
bought any sugar,
people
sorry.
want us to discuss and comment on their best and worst ever wrestling video games of all time, or do people want to discuss and comment about what they thought were the best and worst wrestling entrances of all time? And the results are in.
Can I just say before you reveal the results? I saw, you know, when I saw it was obviously your topic this week there, and I saw the poll and I was like, please God, please, I want to vote. But obviously I think it's not right if I vote, so
Oh, you
I
can't.
didn't.
Okay.
Of course you can.
Oh, can I?
I
I
voted.
want to vote. I've not voted in any of the polls. I thought it wasn't like allowed.
You're over 16.
Well, I tell you where my
to
vote would have gone.
Play on things, it's fine.
My vote would have gone on video games.
Well, the results are
My
in.
vote
Are
did
you
go on
ready?
video games. Oh, it's Phil gone again. Oh, there he is. There he's going. Is he there? No, he's not.
I keep getting kicked out of everywhere. It's too amazing.
Are you
And
allowed
it
that?
I'm gonna
is-
get a drink. Right. So what's the result? What are we
It
doing?
is
He's trying to tell you.
video games.
Yes. I won something for once.
Hey!
So to all those who voted for entrances,
Sorry. I guess.
But you lost to the
So-
HBY again.
so what we're talking about is our best ever wrestling video game experiences, and also the ones where we played and thought, oh wow, this is awful. Now, I'm going to kick us off. Now, a big shout out to my good friend Akko T, who's also a fan of the Piledriver Podcast as well. He
Good
sent
taste.
me a couple of video game images from when he went away in Leeds to a place where you can pay, I think it's 16 quid for 4 hours, and you can go on any arcade machine you want. And he
Oh,
won
yeah, I've
the
seen
tag
that.
team-
Oh,
the
yeah.
tag team titles on WWF WrestleFest.
Wrestle
Are you two guys familiar with that game at all?
Is that the NES game?
No, my friend, it's an arcade game.
I'm pretty sure I've played it before. Oh, with the characters.
Right then, let me give you a brief history on it. So, well done to Akko T for winning the tag team titles with the Warrior and Hulk Hogan.
Akoti.
On that
That's
one.
well done, mate. Well done, Akoti.
Orange Cassidy thumbs up. And so this game is brilliant. On this game, the heels are the $1 Million Man, Virgil,
Excellent, heel.
Andre the
Nah,
Giant,
yeah.
and I
Yeah.
believe Big Boss Man is in the heel faction as well on this one.
Yeah, he was an heel mostly.
And you've also got
Definitely.
tag teams on there, so you've got the Legion of Doom, and you've also got Demolition. And in the faces corner, of singles wrestlers, you've got Hulk Hogan, the Warrior, Jake the Snake Roberts as well on there, and it's just an outstanding game. It just has everything that you want in a WWF game. It's not too showy, it's just your typical 8-bit wrestling game, and it just does what it says on the tin. You get in there, you can do all the main moves, you can jump off the turnbuckles, you can do the Warrior Gorilla Press, the Hogan Deadly Leg Drop, you can do tag moves on it as well, and the ultimate, the last match, because it's a tag match game, and you can mix it up and have it however you want in your tag team. You fight in a cage. The belt has to be won in a steel cage, brother. And it's just a fantastic game. It's absolutely epic. So that's my first one, which is...
I am pretty sure I've played that, Dave. I'm pretty sure I've played it, but I definitely didn't get steel cage and didn't have enough 10p's.
Well, I said the same thing as well. That I just... You see, what happens, it's a bit like a gauntlet match, I think, as well, where you win a match, but I don't think your energy replenishes for the next match.
Right.
So it's a bit like a gauntlet match where you just got to literally fight until you've got nothing left in the tank. But
I had a few of them. I've had a few of them.
If I'm wrong on that, please feel to put in the comments and correct me. So that's me kicking off the first one, guys. WWF WrestleFest. Over to you.
WrestleFest.
Gav, give me your wrestling game.
The highlight one, it's got to be WCW NWO Revenge, my first ever wrestling game. N64, I had to play La Parka to death, and my finishing move had to be the Hurricane Rana. I couldn't get enough of it. Constantly. Every single match, I had to finish it. I had to win every belt as him. I think you could only win one belt, but I had to win it. And
was this the game where, at the beginning, was it a lorry driving and Sting stands in front of it? Is that the NWO Revenge one?
I can't remember that far back. I just remember breaking my console from playing too much.
Oh, brilliant. What are the highs and lows of that game then, Gab? What's the best thing about it and what's the meh? Could have been better.
Best thing about it is Rey Mysterio Jr., aka Rey Mysterio, who I didn't know would be the most awesome Rey Mysterio now. Yeah. And the worst part was having to borrow it from Blockbuster because I didn't have the actual game myself. And then finding that people had deleted all your high scores and stuff, and then realizing it was all stored on your own memory stick, and realizing shit, it was actually me that deleted it, not someone else.
Oh, wounded, absolutely
painful.
Wounded. Phil, over to you for your best wrestling game, or if you can't think of that, the worst one you've ever seen or played on.
Not
I
20.
Definitely played. I've played a lot of wrestling games. I remember the very first one, as far as back as I can remember, was on an old joystick controller with one button, like you used to have back in the day. You had two buttons, but they both did the same thing mostly. You know what I mean? I think it was the Atari ST, and it was I think it was just WWF WrestleMania, and you had a choice of about 3 characters. I think Warrior was there, Hulk Hogan. I can't remember the others, but you had about 4 fights, and after that you won the belt, and that was the end of the game. I mean, that was it. But it was quite fun when I was 8. You know, it was all right. But the one that probably really sticks out in my mind, and it was again N64, but it's WWF with No Mercy.
Oh yeah.
I think it was a great game, and I always used to want to make my own character. But what I found is I didn't have the patience to do a full move set for myself, so my own character was always crap. in terms of what moves it could do, you know what I mean. But there was the storyline, the story mode in them games was fantastic.
Yeah.
According to sorry Phil to interrupt, there's a website called thewrestlingestate.com, and one of the quotes from the person who's put that together for No Mercy on the N64 has said this is arguably the best roster WWE ever had for a game. One of the highlights was, do you remember this? You had to go on survival mode, see how long you could go to earn cash to spend at the SmackDown shop to unlock wrestlers.
Yeah, all them. There was so many different features in it. I mean, I've not played the more recent ones that much, apart from a little blast with Gavin on the Royal Rumble mode. But the No Mercy ones, there was like conditions you had to. I mean, I don't know what the story modes are like nowadays, but you had to like have a backstage fight, and you had to. It was quite difficult. I remember, but you know, it was hard. It wasn't an easy game. And can I also, one last shout out? I know this is 3 games, and we said 1 each. But I think it was called Royal Rumble on the Dreamcast, Sega Dreamcast. If you ever played that, it was awesome arcade perfection. It was a great game. It was so fun. It was just.
I played that one.
You never played it? It was brilliant. If you ever get a chance to buy a Dreamcast for cheap, get one because the games were great.
Yeah.
They were short, but they were fun. They were like an arcade game. But you know what I mean? The wrestling one that they had on the Dreamcast was great. I had it. I sold my Dreamcast for about 35 quid.
Wow.
With about six games ages ago. I tell you what, I'd probably be £200 now today.
Yeah.
200.
And you still would have sold it for like 40.
No, I won't. I wouldn't be doing that now. I'd be playing it now. I'm not. You know what I mean? I'm not a dickhead anymore. Well, I am a little bit.
That's questionable.
On the WWF WrestleFest as well, I forgot to mention there was a Royal Rumble mode on that, which I completely forgot about, and you could also play as Kurt Hennig, Mr. Perfect.
Mr. Perfect.
You could also play as Earthquake, one half of the Natural Disasters, and you could also be the controversial one himself, Sergeant Slaughter, on that one as well.
Gotta love Sergeant Slaughter. Brilliant.
So, yeah, that's one for me. My turn then. Right then. So another game, and I have to bring this, and I apologise, lads. Excuse me, if I may have stole anybody's thunder on this one, but it's an absolute belter of a game, and you could get it back in the day when we had Amigas, Amstrads, Commodore 64s, and it was so over the top. The wrestlers had their own individual gimmick moves. It was so ridiculous. It never took itself seriously, but it was just brilliant to play. And it's called WWF WrestleMania, the arcade game.
What an
you can
original
also get
name.
it for the Sega Genesis.
I think I have played that.
It was out for the SNES.
SNES.
It was out for PlayStation 1, the Sega Saturn, and the PC as well.
Definitely good. Yeah.
This was great because you'd have like the likes of Doink the Clown. And
Which
when
one?
Doink...
Which Doink?
When the Doink,
Matt.
the original Doink, good Doink,
Matt
not
Bourne.
evil Doink. And on this one, when you got his power bar so far up, he just produced this giant mallet and just starts smacking you over the head with it. And then Razor Ramon, his punching arm would turn it into a switchblade razor and knock you over. Undertaker, instead of getting a chair, would pull out a tombstone and smash you over the head with it. And Yokozuna on there. I'm just looking through now. Yokozuna was on there. You had Bret the Hitman Hart as well, and it was just absolutely awesome. The great thing about it was we've slagged off WWE Underground, and we come. Oh, Bam Bam Bigelow was on there as well. And
Bam Bam, what a guy! What a guy!
You could also do combos on it, and I think it was the first wrestling game to feature the actual actors as the wrestlers, and also real people in the crowd as well. But it's just absolutely over the top. Google it if you can. WWF WrestleMania, the arcade game. Absolutely just no storyline. Nothing overly complicated, no big fancy entrances. Just get in the ring and just see what the craziest move you can do is before you pin somebody. And that is mine for my second choice. Over to you, Gav.
I don't know if I should mix two of them into one here, because they're really sort of same time nearly, and it's the reason I bought a PS1 or PS with the one as a word instead, the mini version. I think I got.
It's still the same. It's still the PlayStation 1.
Yeah, SmackDown and SmackDown 2.
Oh,
I remember waiting half an hour to get into the game each match. That's all I have memories of it. I could literally put the game on, load it, go for a shit, come back, and I'd just get in time for the bell to ring. It was a hell of a game.
Brilliant.
Like, some of the hidden wrestlers as well, like some of them weren't meant to be in the game, but in certain conditions they would appear. Like Big Show wasn't meant to be in it, but he would appear at Royal Rumbles. And if you finished it as him, somehow he went into the roster or something like that.
Brilliant.
And I remember when he appeared, going, "Oh crap! I've got to win now." Good times.
Is that the Here Comes the Pain?
That was PS2, I think.
Oh, was it? Oh, right. So this is actually on the PlayStation 1, is it? Right.
And SmackDown 2 was just an extension, except like the Hell in a Cell. The cell was literally at the ring ropes in the first one.
Yes, that was it.
And then the second one, they added a little bit extra, so you couldn't just dive through the ring anymore to get out. And that would annoy me. I remember whipping people against the side. I was on the top of the cage to put up in the fall, but they never fell. They just went down the edge stack, and they're like, how would you stop like that?
Brilliant.
Good times.
Do you know? I remember that one, but I think I've got memories of another game after that, but that game was great. Best wrestler on that one, worst wrestler to be, Gav?
Best wrestler, Stone Cold. Worst wrestler, any of the females. They had like 50
Best
ratings.
match. Worst gimmick match.
Hell in a Cell, best by a mile. Worst, I don't know. There wasn't really a bad match in it. You could actually go out of the arena and stuff though. Like, you could literally go to the street outside.
Fantastic.
And get run over, I think, as well. Which is kind of Stone Cold, because it was about the time when he got run over.
Brilliant. Yeah, that's right. Phil, over to you.
Well, I'm going to throw a bit of a curveball here. And I'm going to tell you about the best wrestling move in the history of wrestling. And it's the spinning Piledriver.
That's
Would
okay.
either of you guys tell me who does the spinning Piledriver?
Zangief, fight!
Absolutely! So a bit of a curveball here. I know it's not a wrestling game as such, but he is a wrestling character in a fighting game. And come on, the spinning Piledriver, it's devastating. If you could pull that off, oh, bloody hell. Fair to the elf gone. Do you know?
Do you know what?
And the spinning clothesline. Yeah, come on.
Yeah, spinning
The
clothesline.
spinning clothesline. This is if it was Zangief versus Zangief in Street Fighter, that is basically a wrestling game.
Yeah,
Yeah?
it really was.
Come on.
Do you know what? You have thrown a curveball there, Phil. I was expecting one of us to drop in something like Simpsons Wrestling or something like that, but I definitely didn't see Zangief from Street Fighter coming in. That's a great shout, that. Absolutely
yeah,
brilliant
that
shout.
one, yeah.
That's my next choice. That was that. Well, there you go. We'll discuss. I mean, come on. I mean, if you was going to play Street Fighter, you probably won't pick Zangief. You'd probably be Ken or Ryu or Guile. That's what most people were. And Zangief, though, very, very. If you could master him, you'd beat anyone with him. I'm telling you. All depends on your skills, guys. All depends on your skills. Spinning clothesline, the spinning powerbomb, the most devastating move in all of wrestling history. I tried to do it myself once. I broke the guy's neck. do you know what I mean? It was an accident. I've never tried that move again. I tried to show that John Moxley. He says, it's too dangerous for me, mate. It's even too dangerous for me.
You know,
and he's not even allowed to do the paradigm shift.
Speaking of the roll-up as well. Speaking of the roll-up, I was watching the best payback moments from earlier on WWE's YouTube, and it finished with a fucking roll-up, didn't it?
Oh, no.
It's a shit end to a match, just unless it's done, like, unexpectedly. But you're expecting it now.
Yeah.
Like, I think in the last 10 shows, they've done about 30. Just do something new.
Just so predictable, isn't it? So predictable.
Oh, he rolled him up. What a shock. Oh, we
Yeah,
won.
I've noticed that the last few weeks it's just been so predictable. Next and last wrestling game from me on this one. I've already briefly mentioned it. It's SmackDown. Here Comes the Pain.
SmackDown,
For
here
the
comes the
PlayStation
pain.
2. Absolutely incredible game, this. One of the things you know, when you look back on games like this compared to wrestling games now, how fast the action is on Here Comes the Pain. The fact that you could have, you know, one of the first things it did this game was have like triple sort of 3-on-3 matches. You know, you could have all different random combinations of heels and faces working together. The actual ropes bouncing as well when people get thrown to the mat. Tag moves, going under the rope as well, going under the ring and pulling out mallets, steel chairs, tables, ladders, and also as well, you could put something into it in the options menu where randomly someone can come down mid-match and either help you beat up your opponent or attack you as well. And it could or could not have variations on your storyline. The making your own player was absolutely phenomenal. You could even change the name of the move as well. So I had something like, I think it was like the equivalent of Ryback's finisher, even though Ryback's not on the game, but it was like Ryback's shell shock type finisher. And I just called it Branzone Justice. Just changed the name on there. Just because. And I had a stable going where it was me, Diablo Dave Abbott on there, with Taz, Kane, and Big Boss Man. All four of us in a stable together. And it was brilliant. You'd have people falling out in the stable, people would leave it. You'd have post-match beatdowns where you could turn heel on people and stuff like that. So SmackDown, Here Comes the Pain for me. Absolutely phenomenal. And it's just an absolute travesty now where you see the 2K games and they absolutely pale in comparison to Just Bring It or Here Comes the Pain. So that is my last shout for tonight on the wrestling games. SmackDown, Here Comes the Pain. Over to you, Gav.
I feel like I'm being really cheap here using this one, but WWE 2K20. West. Absolute. I don't know, shit show is a strong enough word for it.
What they should have said to the
it's
developers
broken.
is...
It's more broken than Matt Hardy.
Oh, I seen a bit of that Matt Hardy on that show that I watched today with Cody losing his belt. And I just don't think he works. You know, I think he's got a chip on his shoulder that his brother's better than him. I just don't like Matt Hardy. I want to like him. I really do. But there's something about him that it's just not getting over for me. And that's all I've got to say about Matt Hardy.
How was that?
And the fact that he's not on the wrestling game can only make it fucking better. There you go, that's my 2 cents on that.
I think it's on WWE 2K20 actually. But
I think
the game is more
definitely on
broken
19,
than Matt Hardy though.
because you can get the Mattiverse on there on 2K19, which is just phenomenal. 2K19.
Oh, can we?
Oh, sorry, Phil.
There is something I want to talk about something, and it's kind of made me laugh quite a bit just over the last week. And if obviously this is for the AEW followers, and if there's any of our American friends listening in, this has got to do with AEW figures.
Oh,
now, you've all been going mad. You've all been going mad about these AEW figures, guys. Do you know if you want to collect them, collect them. It's cool. If you don't. Don't have a go at other people because they want to collect them. It's all right. You know, we can all play with dolls if you want to.
They are
I've had loads of dolls in my time.
They are phenomenal.
And it's not just talk about the figures.
Most of the dolls that I've seen from behind, but it's okay.
Most of the dolls you've seen deflate if you're not careful, Phil.
Yeah, you don't get many of them in Walmart, Phil.
They're not, Phil, they're not your kind. They're not inflatable.
So carrying that on, when are we going to see an AEW video game?
Allegedly.
I think we will.
Next year. Allegedly.
Well, that's something I'm interested in.
Yeah, Kenny Omega's alluded to it. I think he's put some things on Twitter. And I think the Young Bucks have sort of casually dropped in a couple of things about it. But it can't be anywhere near as bad as TNA's wrestling game, which was absolutely shocking, or from what I've seen at 2K20. Now, even if you just look at 2K20, just the stills, when you can't even get a woman's ponytail right and it looks more like a rattlesnake than the back of her head, then you've really got to go back to the drawing board and say, what are we doing on these next generation consoles, and who are the people making these games?
Just remember, people pre-ordered this for like 55 quid as well for the extra bonus content that was already on the disc.
Yeah, no, and you can get it for what, like 15, 20 quid now or something. I was speaking to a good mate of ours, a listener to the
not
show,
the Xbox store.
Dale, good old Dale Whitelaw from We Design.
I remember Dale.
We had a good conversation last Saturday.
Hi, Dale.
About
do you remember me, Dale? Hi. Sorry. Hi, Dale. Sorry. Carry on, Dave.
Got the game, and he told me, in sort of paraphrasing here, but he told me in a way that he's tried his best to muddle on through it, but it is possibly the worst one he's played to date.
Wow.
It's mediocre.
Very glitchy, very glitchy game as well. You know, wrestlers falling through the ring and stuff like that.
Literally, and you could have wrestlers running out the arena because the barrier's broken somehow. It's just an absolute omnishambles.
Simpsons wrestling as well. There's a quick one. Not a bad
real
game.
Quick one. I didn't get to choose a third one. I'm gonna mention it, and I think it had the potential to be really good, and I think it bombed really. And there was a couple of I think there was a second one, a sequel brought out, but Legends of Wrestling could have been good. And I had the first one, and it was a bit crap to be honest, but it had the potential to be good. But it was very limited in the options. I think it was very much like you fight against him, There wasn't no real story career mode. Yeah, I think that could have made it better. It was very bright, very colourful. The graphics were big, but on the outside it looked like a really good game. On the inside, it was really bad, and that was a shame, really, because I think it had the potential. Putting all these legends together, it just never really pulled it off when they were competing against Raw v SmackDown or whatever it was at the time, you know.
Phil,
on the PlayStation I mean, and there's also Xbox. Some other ones as well, which you might remember as well, Phil. You've got there was the Legends of Wrestling series. I don't know if you remember that one as well, Gav.
What did I just call?
I remember the first one.
That's what
is that the
what
one?
Did
Legends
I call
of
it?
Wrestling.
That's what I'm on about, I think. What did I say?
It might have been that one actually, Phil. Sorry, yeah.
There is a Legends of Wrestling series, yeah. PS2, the first one.
Yeah, that's what I said. I thought it was, yeah.
Nitro as well. I don't know if anybody played the Nitro game.
I've never ever played a WCW game. I wish I had, but I never have. And I'll have to try and get hold of one. I think I've still got a PlayStation 1 somewhere, so I'll try and get hold of that, guys. If anyone's listening, send me it for free. Man, HB. I'll give you a shout out. You know, that's how I do business.
And business is not
and also as well.
I'll let you have a photo of me and touch my belt.
Oh, aye.
Yeah, signed photograph.
Hey, Phil, if you want to buy WWE 2K20, it's now on Amazon. No affiliation link, sadly, for $16.99.
Yeah,
no,
I
it's
think
okay.
You can get it from CX for some Magic Beans as well. If you give them Magic Beans at CX, you can get the same game as well, I think.
Ooh, I might have a go at that. Stuff. I like Magic Beans.
You know how 2K20, right?
In the next day or so, I've got 2K18 coming in the next day or so. It cost me £5 odd.
You mean, but 2K20, right? It's $16.99, yeah. 2K19.
Yeah, but I haven't even played 2K18 yet.
It's 40p cheaper to buy the year before.
Do you know what?
I'm telling you not to buy it. It's literally 50p cheaper for the year before. That's how bad the new one is.
Well,
and I recommend
on Xbox Store. This is a real good advert now for Microsoft. I love you, Microsoft. I've got your games console and I play it all the time. But $54.99 for 2K18, 2K19, and 2K20, and then you've got to buy other things. Bullshit. Yeah. I remember when I used to go to. I used to go to electronics boutiques when it was on Whiteford at the corner, at the top, near the market. And I used to go with a jar full of 5p's, right? And I used to get a PC game for $4.99. And it was all right.
And you used to fucking hate you, didn't they, when you came with all these 5P's?
Microsoft, you're taking that piss. And I tell you what, you're going to get a Piledriver from the Piledriver Podcast one day. Yeah. Right, carry on. Sorry, guys.
Phil versus Bill Gates.
That was not a real threat. Please, Microsoft, do not sue us.
No. And another one as well, just for the comedy value of, and it's not even meant to be funny, but there's a game called Raw is War as well, which is out for the PlayStation.
I think I had
that. It's just to get Kane's voice on that game. It's just, it's where he used to use a vocoder when he first came into wrestling. He didn't have a voice. So his voice on there, he uses a vocoder. Oh, it's absolutely awful, absolutely terrible. Well, add to that, that concludes the Piledriver Podcast discussion on best and worst video games. Anything to add on that, lads?
Only that, obviously, I've told you loads of times tonight. I will let you know what I think of 2K18 next week.
I have one thing to add, actually.
Because it should be coming through the post and I'll be able to play it. Yay!
I have one thing to add, actually. A game that is not mentioned so far. Total Extreme Wrestling 2020. A wrestling management game by Grey Dog Software. I've shown you this game before, Phil.
Looking forward to people's comments on that about their best and worst
I think we lost him for a second there.
And also,
we lost you, Dave. What? We lost you.
What? We're talking about another game then.
You weren't connected. You're back. So what are you looking forward to? You said you were looking forward to what?
People's comments on what they thought about our opinions on the games and also their opinions on games that we have or may not have discussed as well.
Absolutely brilliant.
And definitely
Gavin was going Gavin was on about a wrestling management game that you can get about nowadays. And now, if it's the sort of thing I think he's on about, I have had a go, and I don't like it. It's too boring and takes too long.
It's like that's Football Manager, but for wrestling.
I'm the Heartbreak Kid.
What game's this, Gav?
Total Extreme Wrestling.
Right.
Basically, you take control of WWE, AEW, any of the indies, for example. It's just Football Manager for wrestling, but I've got the 16 version, I think it is, and I'm going to get the 20 version when I'm not got car to fix.
Yes.
Well,
but it's by Grey Dog Software, and it's spreadsheet game basically.
Oh right, okay.
But it's a proper game, but it's very spreadsheety. So you got to really think about things. You got to book the whole show and everything.
Yeah.
When I get it, we should do a live stream game of it.
Well, I've had a go. I downloaded one and I had a go, and it wasn't for me. I ain't got the patience to sit and do 8 matches and decide how each match finishes and if there's going to be a run-in, because it's not for me. It's not for me.
You just want the action, Phil, don't you?
Absolutely, I'm all about the action. But I can understand why some people would love it.
Yeah,
it's very in depth, actually. Very in depth.
Different side of the wrestling game, isn't it? Different side of the wrestling business.
There is free versions out there. If you search for them, you'll find them.
Yeah, there's a free
not
version.
illegal. It's free. There is free versions from the official website.
Gone to Grey Dog Software.
Oh, right, okay.
I'll add the link in the comments on Facebook.
Yeah,
see if he sends us a free copy of 20.
Gav, if you can, if you can put a link, Gav, that'd be great. So, are we going on? Have we mentioned wrestling birthdays today? Have we got any birthdays?
Now, Philistine. So,
Philistine.
It's the birthday of Caleb
HBYTO.
HBY. Caleb Conley. Now, he was his most famous stint in wrestling will have been as Suicide in TNA. He was one of the many people under the mask of Suicide in TNA. and Caleb Conley is 37 today. At the moment,
Happy
he's
birthday.
wrestling as a free agent. Tomorrow, we have the birthdays of the charismatic enigma Jeff Hardy.
Jeff Hardy.
Oh, how old? How old is
Will
he?
be 43 tomorrow.
Bloody hell.
43. God, he's older than all three of us.
Mickey James will be 41 tomorrow. And Ember Moon will be 32 tomorrow as well.
Happy birthday, everybody.
Some other birthdays coming up during the week as well. So on September the 1st, Mad Dog Vachon.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Luna Vachon's relation. I mentioned her earlier.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you did indeed. Born September the 1st, 1929. It would have also been...
Believe it or not, it's the reason Luna got into wrestling. She adored her uncle, Mad Dog.
Absolutely. And
happy birthday, Mad Dog.
At that now, actually, Phil. Yeah, Luna Vachon. Yeah, Mad Dog. 1929. It also would have been Bam Bam Bigelow's birthday as well on September the 1st, born in 1961. Obviously, sadly.
Can I just quickly interrupt? Sorry, sadly deceased. But did you know the story of him running through a wall to save a family?
Yes.
What a guy that was.
Yeah.
Read up on it, guys. Bam Bam Bigelow, God rest your soul, he's a hero. Out of the ring and in the ring.
Yeah.
Our connection's going a bit pinging.
He's gone again, hasn't he?
It's not me. I know, and I thought it was me with a bad connection tonight.
Yeah, Mr. Change.
Come on, Dave, sort it out.
He's on K-Com.
He's going to get a pile driver.
It's K-Com, isn't it? Gotta blame
Oh,
K-Com.
oh God.
There he
The
is.
dreaded K-Com.
He's
A few
back.
more famous
He's
ones
back.
to mention.
He's back. Dave, we lost you about for 30 seconds.
It's okay. Sammy Callahan's birthday as well during next week. We've also got Xavier Woods' birthday as well during the week. Sin Cara and also Braun Strowman as well.
Stroganoff.
His birthday on September the 6th as well. So a few birthdays for people past and present in the world of wrestling. Is it time to end on the most amazing, the only reason why people really tune in, is it time to end on a wrestling joke? Tell me it's time to end.
Yes,
I've
please.
not had time to think of anything at all. I've been doing a million things all weekend.
It's down.
But we've got Payback to talk about quickly.
The electricity board is Payback.
We've got
Is that the
Payback
upcoming
to
event?
talk about tonight. It's on in about 6 hours, I think. The lineup for
No
this
wrestling
tonight.
jokes, Carl.
Well, Payback looks like a joke. One of the main
is that
events
where
is
John
Rey
Mox-
Dominic Mysterio.
Oh, it's a WWFE thing.
Yeah, second pay-per-view in 2 weeks.
Can't keep the fans quiet.
Does anyone give
a little bit of money?
Well, here's another one then. What we're looking forward to for the next 7 days of wrestling. Tonight, WWE Payback. So
we've got a good match for the pre-show. Liv Morgan, Ruby Wright against Peyton Royce and Billie Kay.
yes,
Should be on the show itself instead of Big E against Sheamus for the
Absolute-
third time in 3
It's going
shows.
to be an awful match. It's going to be dreadful, that one.
They only fought like a couple of days ago on SmackDown. Or was it yesterday?
I know. Yeah, it was yesterday.
What's the point? Why would you pay to
obviously
watch
we've got
something
the-
you've already seen?
The
3
triple
times.
threat match as well between Hulk Roman.
That's the wrestling joke.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And Braun
Hulk Roman, I love it.
as well. So,
Okay.
Yes.
Do you know, it's got the perfect image and it was so shit.
Yeah.
Sorry,
We're
Roman.
discussing the fallout from that as well. Looking forward to
Keith Lee against
a
Randy
comeback
Orton?
in NXT, guys.
Does that mean you guys are giving me homework again?
Yep. You're going to have to watch the shows again, sorry.
Fuck's sake. Go on then.
So, yeah, the big comeback in NXT then. What set up a lovely fatal four-way? Do you want to tell us about that?
The only thing worth mentioning that is Ciampa. He's got something, but he's just been wasted.
Yeah.
Another star that's been wasted in WWE. It's just
Is Finn
complete shame.
Balor in that match?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
he's back at NXT because I
It-
don't know. He's the first
I
Universal
taught him
Champion. Let's put him on our development show.
Well, I think
Just
he'll win
no fucking
because I
logic.
taught him how to wrestle.
I've gone for Ciampa in that one. I'm going to go for Ciampa.
I'll be honest with you, I only know Finn Balor out of the names. I don't
Prince
follow it
Divine.
that much anymore. Yes. I think Shawn Michaels will win after interference by Big Daddy Cole.
We've also as well got the AEW pay-per-view coming up as well. All
What's that
Out
called?
Is
All
coming up
Out.
soon, some great matches on there. MJF versus Moxley for the title, which I think is great. I think MJF on the microphone is fantastic. I think he's absolutely
MJF in the ring's good as well.
Do you know, I think he's all right, but I've been reading all this stuff, all this like hype about him that he's as good as The Rock on the mic. No, he ain't. No, he ain't. I've seen him today.
Yeah,
I've seen him today in a promo. He's not as good
getting
as The Rock. Sorry,
Whoever
shut
put
up.
that- Yeah, it was a little bit sort of overexcited putting that statement
He's
on there.
getting there, but
Yeah.
he's not there yet.
Well, we'll see. And to be fair, obviously is it? I take it he's the heel and Moxley is the babyface in this. Yeah, I
Yes.
don't like Moxley. He's fucking boring. Do you know what? I just don't like him. I don't like him. Didn't like him as Dean Ambrose. Don't like him as John Moxley. Get the championship off him and give it to someone with a bit of charisma. Because to me, he ain't got none. And I know everyone's probably thinking, oh my God, we really like him. Well, bullshit, I don't. Tough. It's your
Phil,
opinion. That's
Phil,
mine.
right? It's just been voted #1 wrestler in the world by, was it Pro Wrestling Insider magazine?
But he's
Yeah,
boring.
absolutely.
He's boring because you haven't
Fucking
seen
boring.
it. He's not. I
His
don't want to say he's
promos
Brock
are
Lesnar, but he
boring.
ain't, you know.
His looks boring. He's not good looking enough for me. I like sexy wrestlers.
The men, yeah.
You heard it here first on the Piledriver Podcast. Phil likes sexy wrestlers.
Sorry, Kelly.
Sexy wrestlers, yeah. Sexy wrestlers. Do you know? Got to sell it. Got to sell
Right,
it all.
guys. So, is there anything else to add? We've also, like I say, we've got the tonight's pay-per-view, which is WWE Payback. We've also got the AEW one, which is All Out. And we're also building up two pay-per-views also on Impact as well. If you've not checked out TJ Perkins, or TJP as he's now called, on Impact, check him out, ladies and gents, because he's an absolutely phenomenal talent. Honestly, he's one of those guys where you just watch him and you just get out of breath watching him. So there's another one to look out for, I think.
I have a joke.
Because he did a stint with WWE and didn't like the direction where his character was going, and he made the brave decision to leave and get paid less elsewhere. But it's not doing his push any harm whatsoever. That's me for tonight,
I've
guys.
got a joke.
Anything else you want to wrap up on before we go?
I've got a joke. I've stolen it, but I've got a joke.
Yes. We knew you'd find one. Come on, Gavin.
Here we go. What did Hulk Hogan ask in arts and crafts class? What you
dunno.
gonna glue, brother?
Drizzle. What you gonna glue? What you gonna glue when the Hulk
And this is a
Hogan comes down on
really
you?
bad taste one, but it's funny.
Go on.
Don't even say it, Vince.
Jericho the
Let him
Hurricane
say
and
it.
Matt Hardy are in the same car. Who will drive?
Jericho, Hurricane, and Matt Hardy are in the same car. Who will drive? I don't know.
A police officer.
Oh.
Well, yeah.
Should we end it on that?
Okay.
Was Kurt Angle
I
in
think
that
we
as
should.
Or should we end
what's-
on a much more light-hearted joke?
Go for it.
Okay.
What do you call
go.
any Triple H match?
Squash match? I
A
don't know.
buried alive
Sorry.
match.
Yeah.
A buried alive match. Oh, time to play the game. Right, so what we're going to do, we're going to have what we're on was Sunday, so by Tuesday we'll have a poll
Yeah,
on
absolutely.
the site to decide what will be the topic for next Sunday. And possibly there's a chance of a little bit of extra more content if we can do it. We'll talk about that maybe another time. Thank you very much for listening, guys. Give us some comments, be brutal. I want you to really have a go at me if you want, because I'll
Just
just come
Phil,
back
no one
at you.
else.
Do you know what I mean? If anybody wants to challenge me for my title, you've got to queue at the end of a very long line already, so it probably won't happen. But no, thank you very much, guys. Thank you, Gavin. Thank you, Dave. Great night again. Anything to add, boys, lads, men? I don't know.
No, not at all. I'm absolutely good. Thanks for listening, folks. Comments, good, bad, and ugly, and much appreciated.
Good, bad, and ugly.
Put the likes on there if you can, and just spread the word about Piledriver Podcast. Peace out. God bless, and take care, everybody. Thank you.
Ding.